أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونؤمن به إنه من يهدي فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, today we shall be discussing a very essential topic, which is the Amoradu al-Qalb, disease or diseases of the heart. When you say disease, you know what it implies. Disease happens to be illness, happens to be sickness, happens to be some medical default. Now, when you say illness can be viewed in different dimensions. Sometimes we have the physical illness, we have the mental illness, we have the metaphysical illness. But today, the one we are looking at is the metaphysical illness, because it has to do with the heart, it has to do with the soul. And the heart of the soul is something invisible. But because we're informed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that every heart of man is what determines its living. So we get to know that we have heart. And Allah said that yas'alunaka an ruh. They will come to ask you, Prophet, about the heart, about the soul. Qul inna ruha min amri rabbi. This soul we're talking about, the heart, is one of the affairs of Allah alone. You are given just little knowledge about it. So the knowledge about the soul or the heart only belongs to Allah alone. And this heart of the soul we're talking about, Allah said, Min amri Rabbi, is Allah that made it. And Allah who made it warned us in the Quran to take care of our heart. Allah said that وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَقَلْبِهِ. So you should know that very Allah is in between man and his soul and his heart. Meaning that there's a total control, the total direction, the total determination is with Allah alone, because He's a maker. يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَقَلْبِهِ. So He's the one who has fashioned the soul, who has designed it for us. And He has informed us beforehand the nature of this soul. He has informed us what are those things that can harm our soul, those things that can defile it, those things that can harm it, that can make it, victim of sickness and diseases. Because it is from the Quran that we get to know that the heart also falls sick. The heart also has illness. In Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah was telling us that Allah said that fi qulubihim maradun zadahumullahu maradan wa lahum adhabun alim. I said, in their heart, in their soul, there is sickness, there is illness. Zadahumullahu maradan. And Allah increased this illness, and for them is a severe punishment. This is to let you know that it is not only the physical illness that man suffers from. So we suffer from both the physical illness and the metaphysical illness. For example, if someone is feeling feverish, or someone is feeling headache, or someone is not healthy physically, where you go to hospital, you consult a doctor, you take drug, you take injection. But when you have a metaphysical illness, no amount of drug, amount of injection can be administered for such victim, because it's something spiritual, it's something metaphysical, as confirmed the Quran, that the soul also fall victim of what? Illness. As we all know that, what are the causes of all the physical illness? Environment factor, the food we eat, the air we're breathing, our lifestyle, and what have you. But the same goes with the spiritual illness, which is the heart. That one has to do with how obedient we are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's to do with how we keep our secrecy, how we, go on with our life, in terms of, do you tell lies? In terms of, do you fear Allah? Do you do it from haram? Do you adhere to the do's and avoid the don'ts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because the soul will be very powerful when you embark on things that can make it powerful. You keep righteous life. And when the soul is very weak, when you keep on to a wayward life. How do I mean by this? Allah, who created us, our Creator, created us from two materials. The first material is the heart, the mud, the sand, and the second material is the soul. Allah picked the sand from the earth, and when anything that is picked from the earth, we always want to return back to the earth. We have the force of gravity that is going to be pulled towards the earth. And the soul is picked from the above. And anything that is picked from that horizon, we always want to rise. So two contrasting materials, the one that is pulling down and the one that is pulling up. It is now dependent on which of the two are you nurturing. If you are nurturing the body, you are applying cosmetic, you are eating, you are getting dressed, you just give the body attention at the expense of their soul. You'll be pulling down. You'll be pulled to the earth. You don't have the power to uplift your spiritual tendency. But if you are the type who strike a balance, as you're taking care of the body, you also nurture the soul. You nurture it with keeping vigil, engaging in fasting, reading Quran, shunning all evils, embracing all righteousness. All of this will make the two materials, to be on a balanced level. You will not just be pulled to the heart, but you're going to be pulled beyond the heart. You will rise spiritually. You rise. That is why Islam wants you and I to focus on our spiritual growth, development. We should not only concentrate on how we want to take care of the body alone. So therefore, Allah also informed us about the nature of our souls in the Quran. For you to know that the soul is very essential, it's very important. It's so germane. Even on the day of judgment, it is what Allah will use to address every inmate of paradise and every inmate of hellfire. Allah said that, Ya ayyuhan nafsul mutma'in, O purified soul, O soul of accountability, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan, return back to your God, radiyatan, being pleased with mardiyan, and you're also pleased with what you receive from your God. فَادْخُلْ فِي عِبَادِي وَادْخُلْ جَنَّاتِ, go into paradise with my servant and go into paradise too as your abode. So Isaiah is so germane that we take care of our soul, because that is what Allah will recognize on the judgment, not your name. Not your name. Your name doesn't hold a iota of water, doesn't hold a drop of water. So it is by the soul. So this soul we're talking about, we need to continue giving it attention. Till the reality comes. Till the day we go back to our grave. You don't relax and say that no. You have to continue. So what now caused the disease of the soul? What makes souls contaminated with diseases? Diseases of the soul can destroy it within a seconds. Because Allah said that in a few, just at the mother God, said there is a particular flesh in the human body. The salaha, this flesh is okay. Literally, this flesh is healthy. All human affairs will be healthy. But if the soul of this flesh is not healthy, all human affairs is not healthy. He said, Allah, he said, nay, this flesh is the soul. It's the soul. It's my soul and your soul. So if your life is not balanced, it's anyone who happens to be a liar, who happens to be a fornicator, who happens to be a thief, who happens to be backbiters and whatever, all forms of evils, you should know that the person is having spiritual defaults. It's having spiritual setback, because the soul is having serious sickness. Such person's soul is healed. It's having diseases. And things that cause diseases, number one is hubb dunya, the love of this life. When you fall in love with this life at the expense of the hereafter, your soul will be contaminated, will be, filled, will be stained. Hubb dunya. Because the love of this life is what makes you to forget your akhirah, your God. the warning Allah has laid down. And Allah said that وَمَا لِحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا الْغُرُورُ. Allah said there's nothing in this life except deception, except illusion. But today, because of the love we have for dunya, everybody is chasing after dunya, everybody is running after dunya. We forget our akhirah, we forget the day we meet Allah, and we thereby corrupt our soul. We love, things that can hinder its progress with lies, with love scheme. That is why anyone that fall in love with this life, such a person has been captivated. It's a captive to this life. It's a captive. Because we are in between two poles. It's either you tilt to the right or you tilt to the left. If you tilt towards the dunya, you are tilting to the left. You are not tilting to Allah. Allah warned us that this life has nothing. It is only the means. You can use that just the means to be closer to Allah. If you don't use that the means to be closer to your God, then you use it otherwise. And you tend to lose your ground. Number two, things that can defile your heart is qillah, dhikrullah. When you are very, very infinitesimal, very backward in the remembrance of your God. Little or no remembrance of your God. When you don't remember God, you remember your money, you remember your business, such that if you're not doing well in your business, you feel sober, you don't feel happy. Your business is not progressing, you're not getting it well. You feel sober. But when you mix solar, you miss Fajr, you miss soul. How do you feel? You feel normal. When you offend your God, you sin against Allah, how do you feel? You feel normal. You don't feel remorseful. The remembrance of my God, everywhere you are, you have to remember Him. Ithkurullah dhikran kathiran. Remember Allah often. And that will take us to how do you remember Allah? You relate with His book, Quran. You recite it, memorize it, you learn the meaning. You're in the circle of the righteous one. You listen to lectures. You pray often. When you are lonely, you make Allah your partner, your companion. But if the remembrance of Allah is very, very low, it will affect your heart. Yeah, it will affect your heart. Allah said that Allah bi dhikrillah. Allah said, listen with the remembrance of Allah. Tatma'in al-qulub. Will heart find succor? Will heart find rest? So let's always remember Allah. Number 3 reasons why your heart is ill, is suffering from sickness, is lack of preparation for death. When you don't prepare for death, you hate to die. Death is certain, and everything that comes to this world has been attached with its expired date. The day of manufacturing also has date of expiration. So we all leave this world. Everything that you own, we own. It's what Allah owns that will remain forever. So one has to prepare wholeheartedly towards death. But this death is inevitable. It's certain. What's your preparation? What's your provision towards death? Are you still procrastinating? Are you still thinking that I still have more years? I still have more opportunities? Because death will come to you unannounced. As a Muslim, we want to purify your soul. Always let death be a priority. It will come anytime. That is why in the Quran, those who are not prepared for death, the day they die, in Surah An-Nur, they will say, Rabbi, Irji'un. Oh my God, return me, let me go back. لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا, so I can engage in righteous deeds. And I said, nay, it is late. There is a barzakh, that means demarcation, barricade between you and the earth. You can't go back again. You can't go back again. So it's very keen and so essential that we also prepare for the death through remembrance of death. So inshallah, we meet at the next episode to discuss further diseases of the soul and the solution and the way out from it. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this little as an act of ibadah and add to the scale of our righteous deed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.